Simply, we should fast.
Basically, fasting is to control our senses, no, Mataji, so that we are near the Lord. Upavas.
Okay, then every day you can fast. Today you can fast. Why only on that particular day?
To, I mean, that glories, what to say? For Advaita Acharya, what,
Yeah.
because of him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, it's I mean, a mark of respect and gratitude.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice. So basically, all the acharyas, no, on their appearance day and disappearance day, they are extra merciful. They are merciful always, but they are little extra merciful on their appearance and disappearance day. And if you take that as an opportunity and glorify them by fasting, showing them that little more intention to serve them, please them, they will become extremely pleased with you. And they will give you all the Krishna Prema in the world. Can you imagine? Right? So, easy way to get Krishna Prema actually by fasting. That when you fast for the appearance and disappearance day of acharyas, what happens? The stability in following regulative principle will come. Nama japa quality will increase. Right? Sadhana will become more stronger. Right? So many benefits you'll get by fasting. Many people actually do nirjal. They don't do nirjal for other festivals like Gaurapurnima and Janmashtami, Ekadashi, but for appearance and disappearance days of acharyas, they do nirjal because from acharyas only we get Krishna, no? Yasya prasadat Bhagavat prasada. Yeah, so today's verse. So don't forget, everybody, please do fast. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaivo Narattamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Yeah, give me a moment.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Radhika Mataji, should I start?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, continue. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanjalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Tasvadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sargajatam Sagana Raghunatha Tam Sujivam Savdetam Savadutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhavitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishbhanishte Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nitya Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna everyone. Welcome you all in this session. Before we start, we pay our obeisance to Sri Radha Govind, Srila Prabhupada, all the leaders of ISKCON Mangaluru. So last week we had started chapter 2. We had gone through uh, the first two verses of Divinity and Divine Service chapter. So I will continue with that, offering the obeisances. That is what we had discussed last week. So there is one more verse left, which will be continued next week. So let's start. So let's start with today's verse. So, so the topic of today's verse is obeisance to, again, Srila Sukdev Goswami, who is compassionate. So what does this verse say? Yes, Swanabhavam Akila Shruti Sara Ekam Adhyatadipam Adhyatmadipam Atititirsatam Tam Nadam Samsarinam Karunaya Purnaguhyam Tam Vyasasunam Upyami Gurum Muninam. Anyone wants to recite this?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes,
Pranam,
Mataji.
pranam. Yatsvanubhamakilam Shrutisaaramekam Adhyatmadipamatitirshatantamamundam Samsarinam Karunayaga Purana Guhyam Tam Vyasasunamupayami Gurum Muninam. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Thank you. So, what does this particular verse say? Upiyami. What does that mean? Upiyami. Let me offer my respectful obeisances. To whom? Tam. Who is this Tam? It's Sukha, which is Sukdev Goswami, who is the spiritual master. And when we say the spiritual master of all sages, what does it mean? Gurum Muninam. He is Guru for all Munis. And he is Vyasa Sunam. What is Vyasa Sunam? Vyas is Vyasadev, Sunam is son of Vyasadev. He is compassionate, Karunya, and whose gross materialist, and for those who are in gross materialism, what is that? Samsarinam. And they are Atitrishutam, who struggle to cross this crossover. What? The darkest regions of material existence. This Tam Nidham. And he speaks now. What? The most confidential. Purana Guhiyatam. Most confidential. What? The supplement to cream of Vedic knowledge. What is that? Akhila Shruti Saram Ekam Adhyatma Deepam, who gives us knowledge. He is a torch of knowledge, the cream of Veda, which is supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge. And Suvan Anubhavam, Swa Anubhavam. What does that mean? After having personally assimilated, it is not just he is just, it's a mundane thinking. No, he has done the anubhav, he has assimilated. And after assimilation, he's talking about his experience. So that's why it's saying, after having personally assimilated it by experience. So let's try to break some of the important, words in this particular verse. Swa anubhavam. Swa anubhavam means what? The Lord, the knowledge born of realization, not mere theory. So, one is entitled to talk when he has a realization. If you remember last week also, when we were saying, I said, it is not that anyone can talk and sit on the Vyasasana. One should have had realization. That is the reason we say we should follow Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Guru who has, realized, who has realized the knowledge of the Lord, who has had self-realization. And then why we put so much of importance by reading the commentaries of the acharyas. Why acharyas? Because acharyas have realization. It is not that anyone can sit on the Vyasasana and no, because they have realized the Lord has shown them the pastime. So that is why we read commentaries from various acharyas. So Swa Anubhavam, because they have had that realization. Akhil Shruti Saram Ekam. So one, so they give us this Bhagavatam as distilled Shruti Sar. So they are filtering and giving us the essence of the Vedic revelation. Not that anything can be written. No, this has to be very, very meticulously, conveyed. And then Adhyatma Deepam. So it is a lamp for spiritual knowledge, which illuminates the path of, our ignorance. Atitis Trit Satam Tamo Nidham. So it helps us to cross the darkness of this samsara. So this samsara is full of darkness. And this is Purana Guhyam. This is the most confidential part of Puranas or heart of Puranas, Bhagavatam's inner devotional core. So why we stress so much on this Bhagavad Purana? Because it gives us the path to bhakti. And then who has told this? This has been narrated by Vyasa Sunam, who is Gurum, Guru Muninam. He is the Guru of the sages, and then he is speaking out of compassion for people who are in this blind darkness of samsara. To do what? To illuminate our path in the spiritual knowledge. And that is why, and this knowledge is a Shruti Sar. It is a distilled information given to us in the form of Bhagavatam. So further, if we try to, go into the details of we'll read the purport in the end. But first of all, I thought we'll understand the essence. It's very important verse, which has lot of inner meanings we have to really understand, because before going through the rest of the chapters or rest of the shlokas of the second chapter itself, which talks about pure bhakti, we have to understand the real essence of it first, from whom we are hearing. The Bhagavatam is not a speculative treatise. What happens? You get a paper in your house. Can you read it multiple times? No, twice, thrice. After that, you will not like to touch it. You just throw it into dustbin. But when we talk about Bhagavatam, the Vedas, they are they are the essence. The more you read, the more you understand the deeper meaning of these shlokas, the content of Srimad Bhagavatam, and it has to be aligned with the Shruti Sar, the self presentation, the which is basically the culmination of Vedic wisdom, and which helps us to cross this nescence or help us to come out this darkness. So that's why we say Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural supplementary commentary on Vedanta Sutra compiled by Sri Vasudev. So Srila Prabhupada has given details about it. When we read the purport, we'll go through it in much details. So since we are saying Srila Vyasadeva, we're talking about his compassion and he's giving us the confidential knowledge. So Vyasadeva is talking because of Karuna, because of his compassion, he's revealing this Guhya Puran to us. Uh, and why we say, because this is allowing us to come out of this samsara, and it is revealing us the inner secret of the divine love. So, we can see how we can come out of this nascent, material world, stop this perpetual rotating into this material world. We come and go in this material world. So how do we, so Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us this Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev Krishna Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So according to our karmas, what happens? All the living entities are wandering. We are all wandering in this darkest, area. So according to the karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary stages, some going down to the lower. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate can get out of the opportunity to associate with the bona fide spiritual master. Guru Krishna Prasade by Bhakti. So when Guru, you know we are fortunate enough, so Guru, we will come in contact with bona fide spiritual master who will grace us, who will connect us to Krishna, and with the mercy of both Krishna and our spiritual master, we will receive this seed of devotional service. And similarly, we when we say we have to follow the Guru and Shastra, so Srila Narad Muni also, you know we are following the footsteps of Narad Muni. And this Krishna movement, also Krishna conscious movement, is basically rendering service to the humanity. And since we have come in contact with this movement, so it is our duty also what to help. So we are fortunate enough to come, in intimacy to this moment. And it is only through the grace of Krishna and grace of our Guru Maharaj. All the people who have taken shelter of the Guru Maharaj. So you say their lives have transformed. People who were doing a lot of things which are restricted as per the Shastra, but now they have changed. We have seen change drastically in their lives. Why? Because the dormant Krishna Bhakti has started, you know, ripening. The love for Krishna and the association with the devotees help them to come to a stage where they are enjoying what? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhe Kabunai Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kare Udhay. So what has happened after we doing this, the service to the Guru and Krishna? What is happening? Our dormant devotional service to Krishna, which is within everyone. What is happening when we are getting an association of the devotees? We are hearing Krishna Katha. We are chanting. We are, um, getting an association with the devotees. So slowly the dormant love of Krishna is getting awakened. And this is only happening because of the devotion, that seed of devotional service, which through the kripa of the Guru, Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beat. So through the Guru and Krishna's mercy, we are able to receive, or the creeper of the devotional service starts fructifying. Now, Sukdev Goswami is he's been called as uh, he's a guru of the sages. Why has that word being used? Guru Muninam. Why is it being emphasized so much? Because he has been a self-realized soul, and he has that knowledge to recite, to give the knowledge to these munis. So that is why he is called as a sage of the gurus. He after uh, 16 years he did not come out the womb of his mother, but then Vyasadeva requested Krishna, and then he said, okay, Mayadevi will not uh, will not affect you. So please come. And then he left the home. We saw in the previous verse, right? When he starts calling Putrehi, and then all the trees are echoing that message. So, one has to have uh, that a person should be renounced. So that is why he did not even require to do any thread ceremony, because he was a realized soul, a spiritually realized soul. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur in one of his songs says, Mayar Bose Goche Besh, Kacho Lupti Bhai, Krishna Das, E Vishwas, Karole Eo Dukhyonai. So everyone is suffering. He's saying, Maya Bose, everyone is suffering under this influence of Maya, the illusion. We are being carried away by the waves. And what are these waves? Waves are these three modes of material nature. But what is that? We are getting drowned in this. Sometimes we get relief. We say, oh, this world is very comfortable to live. But when we get distressed, we start complaining. And this is going on. And so what happens? We are perpetually in this anxiety. Sometimes, we see, oh, we are getting some relief, but this is a dukhalaya ashashvatam. But what will help us to stop this perpetual anxiety is taking the shelter of Krishna. As Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, surrender to me. Sarvadharma parityajya mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhya mokshishami mahasucha. Come to me, surrender. Just don't get stuck into this, material world. So that is what Krishna is trying to uh, tell us again and again. But we are so much fascinated by this world. We don't want to really come out of this material world. Now let's see what is the connection of this particular. If we have to deep dive, is there any connection what we see to talk about? Yeah. And connection to Bhagavad Gita, do we find some similar verses where we can understand? So, Akhila Shuddhi Sar, yes, uh, 15.15. We सर्वस्य चाहम हृदि सन्निविष्टो मतस्मृति ज्ञान अपोहनम च वेदे se sarve ahamev vedo vedanta. So, by all Vedas, I can be known. I am the compiler of the Vedas, and I am the knower of I am seated in everyone's heart. That's what Krishna says in 15 of. And it's the confidential knowledge. Why we say it is a confidential knowledge? We see it in 9.2 Bhagavad Gita. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratakshagavyamyam Dharmam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. So this is a knowledge. It's a king of knowledge. It's called as a king of knowledge, king of all secrets, and it's a helps us to come to the transcendental platform from the darkness. And then again we say finally when it helps us, then we are able to surrender to the Lord when we understand what is the reality of the life, and that is the time when we surrender to the Lord. We, uh, Sarvadharma Parityajya, that is how it happens. And then we can see from another verse of Bhagavad Gita 10.10, Tesham Satatam Yuktana Bhakta Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam. So Lord gives us the buddhi. Yene mam upiyantite. So Krishna is saying, I will give you the necessary buddhi for understanding how you should be engaged in me and do my devotional service. So that is the function of Adhyatma Deepa, the inner light guiding one beyond ignorance. And then it helps us to this tamo nidam. So this darkest blind darkness can be removed through the avidya can be removed from jnana to avidya to gyan to bhakti. That is the path which, and then we will be getting the devotional and realization of the wisdom. Now, similarly, in nectar of instruction also, utsa, nischaya, dharya, all those, 6 favorable practices for bhakti are very important. And then the seeker becomes atitishtatam. And then, he is able to cross this darkness. And important point here is also, not only by doing these practices, you also need to take association. That is why in Krishna movement, our moment we say follow A, B, C, D, then the association is one of them. So instruction of sadhus, sadhu sangha, sadhu instruction of the sadhu, avoiding the offenses, aligning to the scriptures. So this is Purana Guhyam, the confidential essence through pure association, and that is because of the compassion of Sukdev Goswami, we are able to understand and finally the lamp in practice. So in uh, actor of instruction also we understand how we can regulate our senses, honoring the prasadam, serving the Vrajavasis, aligning, and then finally the Adhyatma Deepak, it gets livened and then dispels the knowledge. And we see various other scriptures wherein we can, if we try to correlate some of the verses from uh, various chapters of Bhagavad Gita or Ishopanishad. So they are also saying, Ishopanishad is saying that, that everything is owned by Lord and must be engaged in his service. And he talks about the quota, which is that verse.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat
Uh,
tena tektena bhunjita magrida kasya sviddhanam. Hare Krishna
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. So, you take any scripture, it will talk about, how we can engage in the service of the Lord. And then it distills that knowledge and gives us that devotion as an it is a essence of every Vedic revelation. Then it helps us to remove vidya, avidya it removes, and by giving us the vidya. Even Upanishad talk about that, how you can remove the ignorance, how this tamas can be removed, and that is being it is not an intellectualism. We don't have to show our knowledge, but it has to be, you have to come from avidya to vidya. And we can see various verses from Gita also, Bhagavad Gita also, 7.3, 14.9, which talks about the vidya, realization of Krishna's true nature and the liberating soul. Yeah. And similarly, avidya, the ignorance, we see lot of shlokas from verse 14, how the delusion, negligence, bondage, and we can come out of this bondage. This very important. And confidential and comparison. Punya Guhyam. What is Purana Guhyam? Purana is the ancient script. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is also called as Bhagavatam Puranam, which is Purana Guhyam. Guhyam is secret, confidential, and hidden truth. It can be why everyone is not able to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Uh, if you see the Mayavadis and all, they are not interested. They don't read Srimad Bhagavatam because it's a very secretive knowledge, confident, and it has to be, given only to the ones who can understand, who are the real recipients. It cannot be who understand the essence of bhakti, devotional service to Krishna. And similarly, if we see the context of this particular chapter itself, which talks about divinity and divine service. So, supreme essence of this chapter is which why that is the reason why Sukdev Goswami is being glorified so much. And we are saying this Bhagavatam is a nature of Shrutisar and Adhyatma Deepam because it is helping us to understand the supreme dharma, that is bhakti. Bhakti, what happens in bhakti when we are into bhakti? It purifies us, and then we are able to get an essence. We are able to, there are Paramhamsas or Vaishnavas who have that revelation of the God. They have been seeing, if you go to Vrindavan, not the Sahajiyas, I'm not talking about that, but the real pure devotees. There are many. We don't have those eyes to see those realized souls, but we, in our own moment, we have many, purified. Srila Prabhupada itself, we have an example. And then various, disciples of Srila Prabhupada,
Mm.
they are realized souls, and they have, that is the reason they are able to give us this pure bhakti. And it is the duty, the knowledge, the ritual, it is to connect us to Krishna, the Bhagwan part of it. We are not talking about uh, reaching to the Brahma Jyoti. No, our intent is to see the Bhagwan form uh, face to face, and that will help only through hearing and chatting, practicing the past. And we have various, I'll not go through the, all the Savai Pumsa, Parodharma, then Vasudeva Bhagavati, then Dharma Sunichta Pumsa, then Vadanti Tat with this. So various verses in this particular, we talk about the true religion, what is love and devotion, talks about how one can get the bhakti of Vasudev by purifying the heart, and when the material contamination is removed. Although then the life's goal is not sense gratification, it is to understand the absolute truth, and that absolute truth is the Bhagwan form. So further, I mean, on dwelling a bit further on the same topic. Now, what is Sukdev Goswami's stature? The chapter is opening honors to Sukdev Goswami because he is a unique renunciation, and he, whatever he has done, he penetrates. His Shruti, whatever he has told, it has penetrated the heart of Suta Goswami. As it is, whatever he has told, it was registered into hearts of, and also the uh, whoever were sitting in that sabha. Even why so much importance is given to Sukdev Goswami, because you normally, if a speaker is speaking, Vaishnava is speaking, maybe his guru, Param Guru, you will not see all of them sitting. And in this, when he was narrating this, he's both the gurus were. So that is why situated with him, Guru Muninam, it is not only the disciples, even his guru and Param Guru were, you know, trying to hear from his, because it was being narrated by a pure devotee who was a renunciant, and his whatever he spoke, it penetrated the hearts of all who were sitting there. A traditional commentary, it is not so. Just in one sentence, the essence is it has to be delivered through the realized soul, not scholarly, how much slokas I know, no, nothing like that. Am I, my accent, how am I speaking and all? It has to be pure. It has to be, the bhakti has to be there. The essence of what is being communicated is from the realization. And so that is why mananam is very important. It is not just I hear from someone and then I narrate. That is not the realized knowledge. Whenever one has to speak, there has to be a realization. So when we say we are following our acharyas, the acharyas had the realization. That is why we put so much of emphasis. Okay, after reading Srila Prabhupada's purpose, oh, can we see what other acharyas have written about this shloka? So because they have done manan, so it after the manan, the essence comes. We understand the content more better. Illuminate with bhakti. Use the essence as a thematic anchor. Bhakti is the lamp that makes Shruti meaningful and viable. And teach the confidential essence, the Purana Guhyam. So we talked about this. So now I thought, so this was the essence I tried to collect, understand myself also. I thought I'll share all of you. So this is the essence I felt was from this particular shloka. So let's read now Srila Prabhupada's purport and try to, discuss it further. Anyone wants to read it?
Hare Krishna
Please raise
Mataji.
it. Yes, Prabhu. Please
From
read.
screen or purport Mataji?
Yeah, this is from the purport.
Yeah.
Here itself, we read from the PPT
Yeah.
itself. I
Okay.
put it.
Okay. In this prayer, Srila Sutta Goswami practically summarizes the complete introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural supplementary commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. The Vedanta Sutras or Brahma Sutras we are compiled by Vyasadeva with a view to presenting just as the cream of Vedic knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on this cream. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a thoroughly realized master on the Vedanta Sutra, and consequently he also personally realized the commentary Srimad Bhagavatam. And just to show his boundless mercy upon a bewildered materialistic man who want to cross completely over nations, he recited for the first time this confidential knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So, what is the take from this para? So, we did talk about that Bhagavatam is a natural supplementary. We don't need to read Vedas and all. That's why Srila Prabhupada is saying, just read my books, because he has put everything into Srimad Bhagavatam. So, and this Srimad Bhagavatam is a supplement commentary to Vedanta Sutra. There's no need to read anything else, because you will hear questions from people. Oh, in that Veda, I heard this thing. In that commentary, I heard. No, first read Srila Prabhupada's. And because Prabhupada has put it very clearly, this is a natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra, or you can say Brahma Sutra, which was compiled by Vyasadeva in presenting what the cream of Vedic. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is cream of Vedic knowledge. Nigama Kalpataru Galitam Phalam, Shukumuk Amritam Davya Samyutam. Pivata Bhagavata Rasamalyam. So this is the nectar is in Srimad Bhagavatam. Is a natural commentary. Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural commentary of on this cream. Yeah. And Sukdev Goswami, we heard so much. So why I was trying to talk about Sukdev Goswami's qualities, everything last few slides, so that we understand importance of what we are reading. It is through the realized soul who has mastered the Vedanta Sutra, and outcome has been Srimad Bhagavatam. It is because of the mercy of Srila Sukdev Goswami, and to us it is a mercy of Srila Prabhupada that we are able to read this Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, anyone else can read this? Hare Krishna.
Mataji, can I?
Yes, please.
Which part?
Yeah, the whole slide.
There is no point in arguing in a materialistic man can be happy. No materialistic creature, be he the great Brahma or inscientific and
Significant
can be happy. Everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness, but everyone is battlefied by the laws of material nature. Therefore, the materialistic world is called the darkest region of God's creation. Yet the unhappy materials can get out of it simply by desiring to get out. Unfortunately, they are so foolish that they do not want to escape. Therefore, they are compared to camel who relishes thorny twigs because he likes the taste of twigs mixed with blood. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So, we said the materialistic world is called darkest region of God's creation. Why? Because we say, oh, this is, even if you get a position, he's saying, be it Brahma or insignificant ant, they think we can be happy in this material. No, it is not a no permanent plan. So if one is in this material world, it is a darkest region. So you will be always uh, trying to aspire, where do I get happiness? But there will not be. It may see it's like a mirage. It looks like oh, you are happy, but you're not happy internally. You ask a CEO, you ask a famous doctor, they are saying, oh, still I do so much, but there's something is there which I am missing. Now what is that something? Because they are not connected. We are not connected to our source. That is why we are not happy. And this happiness is because we are into this materialistic world, into this darkest region. And we think that's why the beautiful example given by Srila Prabhupada is of a camel who relishes because he's taking the thorns, and then the thorn is cutting his mm, the blood oozes from when he's uh, trying to relish the thorns or twigs, and he thinks which is mixing with his blood, he's trying to enjoy that. Now the blood which is coming out of his tongue, which is being cut by the thorns, he's enjoying. To him it's like a honey. But actually it is same like the materialistic people who are being harassed by this material creation, whether it is through the family or the profession or anything else. We will not be able to escape that, but because of our attachments, we are still enjoying it. We think it as a honey, but it's not honey, because uh, whatever attachments you have, once it is gone, you feel, oh, I have been cheated in this world. Why? Because you understood that is a permanent. If you have a house, if you have a big bungalow or a position in the society, but after some time it will go. The old age will come. You will not have everything with you. So the materialistics who are called as karmis, we always think that getting involved in the materialist thing is like they enjoy it for some time, but ultimately, because that example of we are trying to taste our own blood and we think that it is like a honey. So it is because we are not understood the reality of the life. Okay, can someone read this?
Hare
Such
Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Anyone going to read, Mataji?
Hare
Go ahead,
Krishna.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Such intelligent persons are called Gnanis. The Vedanta Sutra is directed to such Gnanis, but Srila Vyasadeva, being the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, could foresee the misuse of Vedanta Sutra by unscrupulous men, and therefore he personally supplemented the Vedanta Sutra with the Bhagavata Purana. It is clearly said that this Bhagavata is original commentary of the Brahma Sutras. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mother. So, we say this uh, why we called it as these intelligent people, the gyanis sometimes do think whatever they know, they will always say, oh, refer to Vedanta Sutra. But Srila Vyasadeva understood that they will misinterpret some of the people are he could foresee that Vedanta Sutra by some unscrupulous men, they will misuse the meaning. So we have seen various, if you see the commentaries uh, in our from various, not of our Gaudiya Vaishnavas, some other sampradaya. So you see a different meaning. Even Sripad Shankaracharya, you see in which in Chaitanya Charitamrita it has been explained why he had to change, because it was a will of the Lord, and at that point in time he changed the meaning because the the in that at that time they were Buddhist influence. So in order to uh, rectify that, it was required, but it was at the at the direction of the Lord that he had to do. But that is not the real essence. The real essence of Bhagavatam is Bhagavatam, which is the original commentary on Brahma Sutra or the Vedanta Sutra. So that is why we are laying emphasis. Srila Prabhupada in his purport is laying emphasis. Whatever has been given by Srila Vyasadeva, because we could foresee some uh, mishandling of the scriptures would happen. And so that is why he is saying, and when he went to his guru, Narad Muni, he said, I have written so many of the scriptures, but I am not satisfied. Why? He said, you have not written about the Lord, his pastimes. So once he wrote Bhagavad Puranam, he was satisfied. So, and that is why Srila Prabhupada in his purport is emphasizing this. Srila Vyasadeva also instructed the Bhagavatam to his son. So then Srila Vyasadeva instructed this to Sri Sukadeva Goswami, who was already, and we just try to understand the qualities of Sri Sukadeva Goswami, is a realized person, and it is explained by the mercy of Sukadeva Goswami. The Bhagavad Vedanta Sutra is available for all those sincere souls who want to get out of this material existence. Srimad Bhagavatam is one unraveled commentary on. So Srila Prabhupada is now emphasizing unraveled commentary on Vedanta Sutra. And Sripad Shankaracharya intentionally did not touch it because he did not want to talk about it, because he knew that the natural commentary would be difficult for him to surpass. He wrote Sarikara Bhashya. And his so followers depreciated the Bhagavatam as the new presentation. One should not misled by such propaganda directed against Bhagavatam by Mayavadi school. So we should not listen to those things. So from the introductory shloka, the beginning student should know that Srimad Bhagavatam is the only transcendental. So why Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing so much in that? Because people may start, because he's laying the ground, because we have to read 10 cantos, 12 cantos. So Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing in the second chapter of the first canto itself the importance of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So we should not try to listen to what Mayavadis are saying. We should concentrate what has come from Vyasadev, what has been spoken by Sukdev Goswami. So that is what we should be read. So that is why he's saying the beginning, from the introductory shloka, the beginning student should know the Srimad Bhagavatam is the only transcendental literature meant for those who are Paramhamsas and completely freed from the material disease called malice. The Mayavadis are envious of personality of Godhead, despite, because they don't believe in the personality of Godhead. Despite Sripad Shankaracharya's admission that Narayana, the personal, is above the material, even though Sripad Shankaracharya had written Bhajagovindam, 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 Mudamate, or even Gita Sar, but still what his disciples have been propagating is something different. So it is because of enviousness cannot have access to Bhagavatam. But those who are really anxious to get out of this material may take shelter of this Bhagavatam, because it is uttered by liberated Srila Sukdev Goswami. It is a transcendental torchlight, very important, because it is helping us to understand, remove the darkness, by which one can see perfectly the transcendental absolute truth realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. If we understand this, we will be, through understanding Bhagwan, Paramatma, and finally the Bhagwan feature. That is why from chapter Canto 1 to 10th, why we say, so we have to lay the foundation. Our foundation has to be very strong in order to go and understand that Bhagwan feature. When we read the 10th canto, at that time, that revelation, we can enjoy those pastime, because we have undergone through those, understood all this various stages, how we reach from Brahman to Paramatma to Bhagwan feature. Now, what is a key learning from this verse? Renunciation, true detachment. It has to be internally. It cannot be dependent on any ritual. That is the reason that second verse said he came out of, and no Upanayan, and nothing happened to him, and he directly went and uh, so it is not because he was detached internally. And we have that story when uh, Sukhdev Goswami was going through, and some women were taking bath in the river. And when he was going, they did not bother. And when Vyasadev came, they tried to cover themselves. And then Vyasadev was curious, why you are doing so when my son who is young? So he said, no, you being Grihastha, um, you know, and it is for Grihastha, it has to be, but he is a detached person. They could see that he is a detached person. Comparison, a realized sage touches the heart of all beings. That is why when we we're trying to understand it, he is a realized, which touches everyone's heart. And bhakti, so bhakti has to be supreme. Sukhdev's teaching emphasize devotion at the highest path. So the verse sets the stage of the for the Bhagavad central message that hearing chanting about Krishna is the essence of Dharma. That is all. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So how do we take, maybe 1 minute more I can take. So how we are going to take the shelter? We did talk about that, chanting the holy names, reading the scriptures, associations, remembering. And all this can happen only if we have the 6 aspects of Sharnagati, which is Anukulasya Sankalpa, Partikulasya Varjanam, Rakshite Vishwaso, Goptirve Varnana, Atmanipekshana, Kripane. So, by accepting what is favorable for devotion, rejecting what is unfavorable, and firm faith that Krishna will protect us, accepting Krishna's as the maintainer, and surrendering oneself completely with body, mind, and our senses, and cultivating humility, not feeling proud. So that humility, that compassion has to be there, as Sukhdev Goswami. Hare Krishna. Thank you all. If there is anything anyone has to add, or if there is anything which you feel was not okay, you can comment on that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I just
Hare
wanted to
Krishna.
add one interesting information that I found
Yes, Mataji.
in about Shukadeva Goswami, that when after Shukadeva Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Vyasadeva, he left the house, right? That's what we all know. He left the house in the form of, he remained brahmachari and he left the house and he started to preach in all the householders' house and everything. But when he left the house, Vyasadeva was very depressed. He wanted his son to accept a wife and then lead a family life, take his, family forward and everything. So, what Shukadeva Goswami did? He expanded himself, it seems, into another Shukadeva Goswami. So
Okay.
now it's 2 Shukadeva Goswamis. So one Shukadeva Goswami is that we know that who preached to Parikshit Maharaj and everything. And there is another Shukadeva Goswami who is actually called Shuka. And he went back home to Vyasadev. He got married and he got a daughter also. So just to satisfy his father's desire,
She's
he did
mhm.
that. Hare Krishna. Something
Hare
interesting I
Krishna.
wanted to share.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, this I did not know about this. Hare Krishna. Any comments or
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna?
So, Mataji, here discussing about the Vedanta Sutras and Brahma Sutras. So, Mataji, different acharyas like Madhvacharya and Sankaracharya and Baladeva Bhushan or Gaudiya Matha
Yes.
Sampradaya, they written Brahma Sutra, Brahma Bhasyas, and so Mataji, in those sutras, and here Vyasadeva here written Bhagavatam, Vedanta Sutras. What is the different, Mataji?
I am not well versed with that. sorry, I won't be able to comment. But what I heard from what in Gaudiya Sampradaya, we read only the commentaries from Srila Prabhupada and the Gaudiya Acharya's commentaries. There are differences in the Vedanta sutras given by other acharyas from other sampradayas. So I'm not an expert on that. I can talk about what, because what Baldev Vidyabhushan and what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has written, it is in alignment because Srila Prabhupada had read their commentaries. And we do in ISKCON do read their commentaries, which is in alignment with what Srila Prabhupada has written. Srimad Bhagavatam is considered as a, for us, it is our main, what to say, supplementary, it is a supplementary, but Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural supplementary to Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutra. But others, I am not the right person for that. Sorry, Prabhuji. Maybe if you know something, please share.
No, Mataji, I'm actually researching for that, so that's why may you focus. I mean, you are light on this, Mataji, so that's why. Thank you.
For us in Gaudiya Sampradaya, Gaudiya Madhav Sampradaya, and what we follow is given the commentaries or books by Srila Prabhupada. And then once we have read that, it is not that you start reading Baldev Vidyabhushan's commentary first and all. So what has been emphasized is please go through Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is said you should read it at least 3 times. Srimad Bhagavad Gita you should read 6 times. That is how it has been mentioned. Then you start understanding the essence. And once you have read that, you read other acharyas' books also, which is okay. And other acharyas, I mean, our Gaudiya Parampara acharyas, who has been followed, like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baldev Vidyabhushan. So one can read that. Or Rupa Goswami Pad or Jiva Goswami has written 6 Sandarbhas. So one can read that. Because the essence is given here itself. So Vedas basically were written, the intent for writing those Vedas by Vyasadeva was Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. But our path is Bhakti. So we have to understand what is the essence, what are we looking for? If we are looking for Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, yes, then we should look for other sampradayas and other commentaries. But that is not our aim. Why we are sitting here, why we are discussing it's because our aim is bhakti, pure bhakti, and it is not, it has to be, it cannot be a mixed bhakti. Of course, it takes ages to reach that level, but the aim has to be that pure bhakti, that braja bhakti, but not even the Aishwarya bhakti. What we are looking for is not Vaikuntha, we are looking for Goloka, Krishna's, shelter. Hare Krishna. Any comments or anything? Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. It's a wonderful session. Like, you are Mataji for really hard for one sloka for so much in detail explanation. Thank you. Please accept my humble obeisance to your lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
Please don't say so. It's all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to our acharyas. Vancha kalpataru vriksha kripa sindhu vaja patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavivana. Ananta koti vaishnavinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna
you all.
Mataji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Mataji. Thank you.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you so much,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Dandavat Pranam to all of you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, we close the session.